Hey folks, welcome to yet another live stream. It's the only constant in this channel. Everything's going to be a live stream, but this time we've got a whole new topic. This time the topic is how do I get nice vintage switches for my nice keyboard builds. And there's a little something that I'm currently up to, and I'm making this stream to promote something. I have recently gotten quite a lot of these. I like to refer to them as WYSE-like keyboards because they are kind of built in a way that that was very popular from keyboards of the WYSE brand. There's tons of these WYSE keyboards around, and these are known to be great sources for very smooth vintage black switches, especially the nice vintage black stems, because I'm not a fan of the plate mount switches. But these keyboards are great to harvest the switches from, and I'm usually using my €1,000 desoldering tool, which requires an external compressor that's $100 itself, which is quite not very useful for the average keyboard dude who just wants to get some switches. So I got something that the average keyboard user might find suitable for his need, and this is a €10 soldering iron with pump. Yeah, that's right, with a pump. You thought it's a pump, but it's a pump. Let's take a look what a pump is. I just got this on Friday. I'm opening this on video. I want you to get a first-hand impression of what I feel like desoldering is with this tool. It's from Amazon, Amazon Germany, Amazon DE. It's a European version, 220 to 240 volts, of course. It's a 40-watt iron. I don't know. It's non-temperature regulated or anything. It's yeah, it was. Oh no, I shouldn't put this in there. This is just gonna make me regret. Okay, it comes with a little manual, basically saying apply power, do stuff, don't kill yourself. Okay, I'm going to try to follow these instructions. Let's have a look. Okay, all it comes with is a plug and one of these phony, thick-looking Chinese cables, I'm pretty sure. Ooh, yeah. So, one thing I'm gonna borrow from my expensive equipment is the nice brass wool we have down here for some tip cleaning. Ah, shit. Okay, yeah, my desk mat is fortunately soldering temperature proof. Yeah, okay, well, before I get started with this, just remember that this is nice little cheap soldering iron. The way this works is this tip's got a little hole in it. So this is not a soldering iron, it's a desoldering iron pretty much. It's got a little tip, it's got a little hole in the tip. So what you do is this is like one of these solder suckers. You push this in, you heat up the joint, and you push this button, it sucks the solder out, you dispense the solder, and do the same all over again until you desolder the whole board. This is gonna be a drag, and yeah. It's gonna suck for me as much as it's gonna suck for you, sticking through the whole video. And this is the board that you might end up desoldering. So, yeah, I intentionally didn't pick a particularly pretty one because I didn't want to give anyone the wrong impression. So let's just start by, well, let's not start by pulling off the caps. We're gonna do this after I remove the case. But this is really nothing special. I'm just gonna take this little thingy. Whoa! Well, so much for that screw. Oh, I think all the screws are. They aren't mandatory. These screws. They're just there for our entertainment. Except for this one, of course. Although there's two serious screws in here. Okay, there we go. Well. Yeah, all we want is the switches, remember that. The rest of this thing is just garbage. Away you go. Made in Korea. Well, it's that might be where you're heading again. Like a switch-wise, you might be heading back onto a Korean board. And look at this. Yep. Yeah. Removing the keycaps is going to be much easier now. So I got tons of these keyboards from a friend in the United States. People on Deskthority will surely know her name. She's Cindy, also known as Electronics Plus, and she is the go-to person for vintage recycler finds in the US because she does recycler finds as her main job. She's actually like a recycler herself, and she's really connected with the community and offered some insane deals to the community previously. And yeah, she's always had the issue that supplying the Europeans is quite difficult from the US because shipping's insane. So we came up with this idea to just ship huge boxes full of stuff to Europe to get like bulk shipping, and she has shipped dozens of these to Europe. To me personally, and I'm in charge of distributing them. So yeah, she's obviously, like, I'm trying to make my shipping and customs money back, and she's trying to make some money for these boards. So I won't be able to give you insane deals on these boards, but they are still going to be very nice deals for nice, smooth, plate-mounted vintage blacks. Okay, switches, away you go. Does anyone care for these switches? Oh. Okay, I need to ask. I need the bin back. Okay, so yeah, this is where we're starting. The nice thing about these keyboards is switches are plate mount. And switches don't have diodes, which means there are only 2 connections per switch. Left leg, right leg, no diode soldering points like we have on the G80 boards or the Nixie boards. So it's only pretty much half the soldering work. Really wonder what this is going to be like. Okay, bear with me. And what I recommend for desoldering work is a little tin cup or little tin thingy, the bob, to put all your waste solder. And because I'm a little overly attached to my eyesight, I'm gonna wear some safety goggles for this one. So let's get started. I'm gonna just plug this in. Just hope I don't start. Okay, let's see what this does. I'm gonna put this here. Okay. Any different? Ah, here's some good safety goggles. These really suck. They have a yellow filter on them. Who comes up with this kind of crap? I'm gonna give the iron a moment to heat up. Oh yeah, you can see some smoke rising from the iron, which is pretty normal because there's usually some kind of stuff on there that's yeah, like some kind of stuff from the factory. Can you see that on camera? No, you can't. But you also can't smell it, but it does smell a little. So what do we do now? trying to get the cable to unwind a little bit so that I can get good access on this. Okay, let's see. Oh, not very hot yet. Oh, let's see how it likes the tip cleaner I have somewhere here. There's a damn tip cleaner. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Never mind. I'm just gonna tin it with some. Oh. I hope I didn't miss the important message in the user manual that tells me to remove something from the iron, but I don't think so. Okay, let's give it another shot. Oh, oh, there it is. Now it's hot. Okay, looks like we have proper desoldering temperatures. Since this is an Asian product and it's quite old, I guess we won't have leaded solder, and since we can't temperature control this thing anyway, well, let's just move on. Yeah, I think we just desoldered our first switch. Oh yeah, lifting pads is the name of the game here. This is the dirty way of desoldering. I wouldn't... Well, I think you can desolder a few pads like on a nice modern keyboard, but I wouldn't be doing it too much. It's very hot. It's got a lot of thermal mass on the tip, so I would actually call desoldering with this thing pretty effective. It's getting hot, like there's no... Oh! Yeah. Pro tip, always charge this thing before you melt the solder, otherwise you're going to spill solder all over the PCB. Yeah, this isn't so bad. I just wonder where all the solder comes out of. Oh, there we go. Yep. Just gonna come running out again. Whoop. Made a little spill there. Ooh. Oh yeah, like if you desolder more than just a few switches, you are going to spill some hot solder over the PCB. Don't do this. Like, don't do mass desoldering on PCBs that you like with a tool like this. I think this tool is great to maybe swap out or like fix 2 or 3 switches. Like, if you build your own keyboards, I consider like one of these pump irons like this really an essential part of your toolkit, just to be able to like replace 1 or 2 switches when you messed up. I recommend, like, if you want to clean a board that you want to use afterwards, for like swapping a faulty switch or changing placement of like a switch or something like that. I really recommend you clean it very well before you do that, and you don't do it in the same session as you do the desoldering, because this thing starts running like a nose in winter time, and I don't think it's very. I think it just gets hot. Let's see. But the desoldering results are quite okay, I guess. The price point of this thing just kills me. $10 shipped. It's just such a good deal. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep this little tin pan close so that whenever it feels like it's doing the runny nose thing again, I've got it covered. No more spills on the PCB. Like my first desoldering tool used to be the famous ZD915, which is a very affordable electronic desoldering tool that you can get in Europe. I think something similar isn't available in the US market. I was quite sad to find that out when I was talking to an American friend about getting a desoldering equipment. This was before these $10 irons here were on the market, and I desoldered like probably maybe 20 boards with a ZD915 before I traded it with a friend, and it was a great tool, but yeah, it was like the things that you come across when you desolder like 3 boards in a row that bothered me. Flushing the collected solder from the collection glass was a bit cumbersome with the ZD915. Like if you have to do it 2 or 3 times an evening, if you desolder one board, that's maybe okay. But if you have to, like, if you want to desolder like mass desolder boards, then you might consider getting something that is a bit easier to clean, like the Velar that I got. But I got a great deal on it on eBay. It was like a presentation unit, so it was a great discount. So yeah, I got lucky there. And this thing's really the bottom line. Like, it's not gonna get cheaper than that, and I don't think what really could go wrong with these. I don't think they're gonna last several boards or many boards, but I don't expect them to be the tool of choice for like desoldering dozens of boards. If you can desolder 2 or 3 WYSE boards with one of these things, you're already deep in the profit region. Plus you got yourself a nice and helpful desoldering tool. Huh. Well, this thing surely doesn't have any issues reaching the temperatures that we need for the desoldering here. I think 40 watts is plenty of heating power. I didn't check if there were any like 30 watts or 50 watt units, but I think this 40 watt unit is more than enough for keyboard desoldering. In fact, I wouldn't use it on any delicate parts like ICs that I wanted to reuse or something like that, because that thing seems like to be, it's very hot. It's got a lot of thermal mass there. I think we're really desoldering these switches nice and fast. Whoa, what's going on here? Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna clean the tip, make sure that we remove some dirt. Maybe we had some transfer issues with the heat. Gonna try this again. Much better, I think. Let's see how the next one works. So yeah, I was just rubbing the tip in brass wool, and that often helps clean up like some dirt that has been collecting on the tip, and that might prevent proper contact between the metal part that get really hot and the solder joint to be made. Oh yeah, I jizzed on the board again. I'm super excited to see how well these switches actually lift once we flip the board, because one thing that I've noticed is that we've gotten some bent pins here, something that is a lot more popular in the Alps world, that the flexible pins of the flexible legs of the switches get bent before soldering, which makes it so much harder to desolder them, because you can't get like around the leg. So yeah, hopefully we don't see much of that anymore here. I wonder if there's a better way to eject the solder from this pump. Oh yeah, maybe I should check the live chat, see if someone's got a good idea. Yeah, no one's screaming at me for doing something wrong yet. Seen some people in the chat mention that this thing can be had for, these things can be had for as little as $5 on AliExpress. That's even better if you can wait long enough. I got this delivered with next day delivery on Amazon Prime. So that was for I think 10 or 11 bucks. German Amazon. So if this thing turns out to be a total dud, I can even return it. But so far, I think the results are okay. Like it's what I'm expecting. It is reducing solder of the board. I might give each joint a little more time to heat up. Maybe get a bit cleaner results. I feel like it's helpful to apply pressure to the PCB when triggering the sucker, because you want to make sure that the air is sucked through the soldering hole and not any other way, so that, come on, I mean, this is really a weak, oh, as emptying the little binny thing. Oh, oh yeah, so the idea behind this video is, once again, I'm trying to promote something here. I'm trying to get rid of a lot of these boards, a lot of these WYSE-like boards here. They are pretty simple to desolder. You can use simple equipment like this. That's what I'm demonstrating here. I'm not using my fancy weller to desolder this. I'm using working man desoldering equipment here. Oh. Well, I'm not done demonstrating that, am I? It's, still a little way to go, but that was my idea behind it. I just wanted to make sure that I'm not promising you stuff that that I can't prove, or that isn't true, or that I just made up. So I want to encourage you, if you're interested in building your own keyboard with nice linear switches, you can make your own vintage black switches. Get one of these WYSE boards. There's also different sources for these boards. They're much easier to get in the US. Like, people in the US can get them for very cheap, sometimes even in larger quantities. and desolder your switches, give them a nice good cleaning, and put them in your board. Okay, 2 more switches and we're gonna see this little thing crack. Okay, I'm telling you one thing, I'm not a sensitive guy when it comes to separating switches from a PCB. We're gonna get these switches off. Okay, I think we're done with the desoldering iron. I'm gonna set it aside here on the metal, on the wooden part of my desk. Hopefully, yep, stay there. Okay, and this is Solar Explosion, modern art. Okay, let's see. Oh. Oh, a couple of switches already surrendering. You know, French switches. Not trying to open old wounds here, just playing the stereotypes a bit. Calm down, guys. Oh yeah, there we go. Ooh, what's that? Yeah, stupid thing. Okay, there we go. All of the switches. See? So, yeah, my first verdict is the desoldering went pretty smooth. It's not gonna get better, so why bother? Oh, here's the brush I've been looking for. Yeah, I can unplug the soldering iron now. I think that was a pretty smooth job. Okay, here's the switches. Seems like I have to grab them. Lost one. No switch left behind. Very well designed plate, nice fit. Oh yeah, look at that. You even get a couple of genuine cherry plate stabs, which is pretty cute and awesome to come by because usually the plate stabilizers that you get are utter shit. Like, I think I remember, was it the KBD 75 that I built? Nah, it wasn't. It was a different one. What was it? I think it was a Mastrop kit. Was it a plank I built? I don't know. I think I built a kit with like some super shitty, like with terrible plate stabilizers, plate mount. So, oh yeah, look at this. This is just a, I mean, but we're 35 minutes into the stream and I've already desoldered this thing. And that was a brand new solder sucker. I didn't have any practice with this thing. I just did it out of the box. I really wanted to give you the genuine experience that I'm having with this thing. And yeah, stream is just 35 minutes old and I am picking switches off the plate. These switches are in a quite dirty condition. The really valuable part of these switches is the sliders. I'm taking out the stabs as well. Which way do they go? Up? Oh yeah, they go up. I've got a box of cherry stabilizers. These are just the ones I haven't cleaned yet. Like I need to get another cleaning job done once this box is full. Yeah, I think I need to make a little bag of plate mount stabilizers, just in case I ever come across more plate mount kits, just to be able to use some nice genuine cherry ones and not the crap. Okay, well, that went a lot faster than I thought. What shall we do with this early evening? How about we crack them open? Oops, that's up. Let's move on. Okay, this is actually a job that I don't wear gloves for, because I don't feel like gloves are helping. So springs and sliders in the middle. This is a little basket that I got from the Grandmaster Kin himself, and I hold it in great honors. It's great for taking your switches apart, but well, you can just use any kind of container for this. I'm just popping them open. It's pretty much like eating cashews. Just be sure to never stick one of these into your mouth, because you're gonna get a serious case of jizz poisoning from the looks of this keyboard. Yeah, I'm a little out of practice. I used to do this a bit quicker when I was younger. But you'll have to sit through this with me. Very sorry. If you're watching live, you can't skip. Yeah, so what are the next steps? Like, this stream's pretty much going to end after we take these apart. So I can already talk a little bit about what's going to happen next. We've separated these into a couple of components now. We've got the switch top cases, switch top housings. Let's call them housings. Like, every time I talk about these switch things, I have to reconsider the terminology to use. So let's call them switch top housings. The switch top housings are just super dirty and definitely need to be ultrasonicated. This means I'm just going to throw them in the ultrasonic cleaner with a little bit of cleaning solution, and yeah, afterwards flush them in clear water and spin them in the salad spinner. And that's not me joking, I am seriously going to take the stuff, like almost all of the stuff that I put into the ultrasonic cleaner, I toss in the salad spinner afterwards and give it a nice quick spin in the salad spinner to remove all excess water from the components, to help it dry faster and to prevent residue from drying, from building up from lots of water drying on the components. You want to be you might want to be careful if you do this with certain stuff. The only time I've made negative experiences with the salad spinner thing is when I put IBM keycaps, the two-part keycaps, the ones that have like these thin little hoods on them. You know them from the Model M keyboards mostly. And these little clip-on parts that go onto the actual stem keycap part. I've had one of these break in the salad spinner. That's the only time I've seen something break, and I've never really been very careful with the salad spinner. I think it's a great tool. You can like really reduce the I clean a lot of keycaps in there. Obviously, you can reduce the drying time immensely using that. I'm just checking the live chat and stuff. You dirty little boys. I'm not tossing salad, I'm tossing keycaps in and then salad spinning them. That's a small difference. And apart from that, all the components that I do salad spinning with are 18 years or older, so there's absolutely no issues there. Yeah, oh yeah, if you're interested in what I'm using here, I actually made a separate video on how I built this. This is just from an office binder clip thing. I just bent it a little bit and filed it down, and then I attached it to some kind of prying item tool for from some kind of $1 Chinese smartphone repair kit, and then I just fixed it with a hot glue. And I just love this tool. Like, I really love this tool. I made it specifically to fit my switch opening routine, so I'm really happy with how this turned out. Oh yeah, so regarding cleaning of these switches now. I've been wanting to do a video on this for a long time, and I think this is the right moment to kind of get started with a little series of videos. I obviously won't be able to do this in real time because like the ultrasonic cleaner is in another room, and it's going to take some time to clean, and especially it's going to take some time to dry. So I'm just going to talk about my procedure, my cleaning routine, and I might be able to do a video on it and cut it and upload it, like not as a live stream for a change. Oh well. Sorry, I just took off the glasses. I just realized I don't need safety glasses anymore. So yeah, my routine is first of all like getting these components separated. The sliders and the top housings are not very like sensitive parts. I would consider them. Like you can just throw them in the ultrasonic cleaner. Just make sure it doesn't get too warm. Like the temperature inside the ultrasonic cleaner rises when you are cleaning. Like the cleaning process, the ultrasonic process releases heat into the water. At least that's my understanding. I don't know the scientific principles behind it, but somehow the water gets warm, or the cleaning fluid heats up during the process. So when you are doing like long sessions with the ultrasonic cleaner, you might want to keep an eye on the temperature of the fluid. I found that anything above 35 degrees Celsius is not very, isn't 100% safe. Especially ABS caps, light colored ABS caps, they can get some discolorations from temperatures that are getting close to 40 degrees Celsius or above. When I got the ultrasonic cleaner, when I got my first ultrasonic cleaner, I was so excited by the results, and I started doing all these crazy test runs with it, and I really wanted to test the limits. So I just put in a couple of keycaps, like double shot ones, printed ones, LED windowed keycaps, and just left them in there for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. And I did start to see some permanent surface discolorations on ABS components once I went above 40 degrees Celsius. So if I had to give you a general recommendation on ultrasonic cleaning, it would be trying to stay below 35 Celsius. If you're doing ABS parts like dye sublimated caps or something like that, these keycap components are probably made from POM or some other mystical pleasure material. You might be able to safely work with higher temperatures, but I wouldn't take a bet on it, and I just like to stay safe. So usually I try to let the ultrasonic cleaner cool down for a couple of hours once I get above 35 Celsius. Which rarely ever happens because yeah, the room that I put the ultrasonic cleaner in is a cold room, and usually the starting temperature is something like 15 Celsius, so I can do quite a number of runs before it's starting to heat up. So what do I do? Yeah, first thing I do is I grab a strong magnet and pull it through this part, and just pull out all the springs, which is just by far the simplest way to get all the springs out. Like you could fiddle around and try to put the springs into a separate compartment right now, but that just sucks. Best way is just empty the springs in here, throw the top and the bottom housing into different compartments, and then just pull a magnet through and get all the springs out, and bam, you've got all the components separated. Then I take I like to keep the sliders separate so I don't mix them with the top housings. I put the top housings in the ultrasonic cleaner and I give them a good and long cleaning, probably something like, I don't know, 10 minutes at full power. like my ultrasonic cleaner only has an on and off switch, but it's a pretty powerful one. If you feel like if you got your own little ultrasonic cleaner, you can get them from like, you can get cheap ultrasonic cleaner from Aldi for like 20 bucks here. They're gonna have a very small capacity. It's gonna be like you're gonna be doing these switch tops. You might be able to fit all these in there in one go. Yeah, but what you want to do is like maybe do 10 minutes, let them dry, flush them a little bit, see if you feel like they're clean. Like they have to be looking super clean, and then yeah, if they're not clean, do another 10 minutes. And same thing for the sliders. Like I like to get my sliders really nice and clean, but I do them separately of the top housings. Also give them like 10 minutes, I don't know, 15 minutes when I feel like it, and then properly flush them. I usually flush them 3 times. So I submerge them in water, and like I usually do that in the salad spinner. So I put them into the spinning part of the salad spinner. I'm just gonna get the salad spinner over in a moment. This is really exciting for me and you. I think the salad spinning here is really picking up on people. Such a sorry, I'm such a dirty old mind. Yeah, so I put them inside the little spinny thing in a salad spinner, and just fill the whole salad spinner with water, and then turn the salad spinny thing a couple of times around to wash the components in the water, then flush out all the water, fill with more water, and then usually I just flush them 3 times. That's usually the point where there is no more soap or foam building up on the water, and I feel like they are cleanly flushed from all the cleaning solution that I've been using. And that's where you kind of want to be. Like if you're going to lube them up later on, you don't want any soap to be left on the components. So yeah, that's going to be another step. Okay, where is the magnet? Here it is. Yeah, it's this is from some kids' toys. Okay. Yep. Oh, there's another one. I think we're done. We've got all the components here, and I'm gonna grab my salad spinner. Watch me. That's the thing, and you can just throw these in there, like after you clean them, obviously. I'm just gonna throw them in there for demonstration purposes now. And you take some water, you put in the water, and you've got like all the water down here, and then you spin them around a couple of times, make sure they're nice and clean. You lift them out, shake off the excess water, flush this thing, take some fresh water, clean them again, rinse them, shake off the water, get new water. Do this a couple of times, and when you're done, you put on this whole thingy, you pull this, and it is gonna spin fast. Like I'm just gonna do this slowly for fun. Like I can do it fast. yeah, and then your components are pretty much like an hour on the radiator from being completely clean. Yeah, so I guess this is a point where we're gonna postpone further stuff until I have the time to put these components through the cleaner. Oh yeah, ha, the big secret. What am I gonna do with these components? And I will actually put these components into the ultrasonic cleaner as well. Some of you might not be comfortable with that. I don't know. I've never made really bad experience with that. But I have a little special procedure for them. First of all, I only put them in for a short time, only 5 minutes or something like that. And I do the water flushing. I flush them 3 times. Then I spin them to make sure they lose all excess water. I pour out all the water, and then I flush them in distilled water. Like, you're supposed to use distilled water for the ultrasonic cleaner anyway, for the initial, like for the water, for the liquid that you use for the cleaning process. So I always have like tons of distilled water in my room. So I exclusively flush them again in distilled water after having them rinsed of all the soap, to make sure that that all the remaining water that is still hidden somewhere and held in place is swapped in by distilled water. And then I rinse them again, and then I spin them again and hope that the little water, the little humidity that is still left is mostly distilled water and wouldn't leave any residue when it's drying. So that's a little trick that I do to try and make sure that the contacts don't get any residue on them when the cleaning leftover humidity dries in. So this is an hour now. The live stream's been going an hour. I've been rambling a little bit, and I've just gone from a WYSE keyboard with a wrapped in desoldering $10 tool from Amazon, or $5 tool from AliExpress, to a bin of popped open vintage MX Black switches. So I think it's something that you can do as well. I didn't use any magic as far as I remember, and yeah, I'm just trying to encourage you to do this yourself. You can desolder these switches yourself, and it was actually quite fun. I hope you also enjoyed this video. That's pretty much it already. Like, I was expecting this to take a lot longer, but it's just like like that. You really start saving times when you do like 3 or 4 boards in a row. This was just really quick. Thanks very much for watching. It's been a great pleasure having you with me, and I hope you have a great rest of the day. Bye bye.